Hi everybody. So this video is walking you guys through your first essay assignment. And as I said in the syllabus video, this is a mini essay. I know it's quick, I know it's the second week of the course, but this is a very short course with a lot of information packed into it. So you guys have in these 2 weeks read a number of accounts of what it means to be an American in the post-Civil War era, all the way up to World War One. As we're resettling the land, we're repatriating different areas of the country. So you have different accounts of what this is like. And really what you're doing is looking at how these authors are reflecting that reality, these changing landscape, these changing identities in their writing. So what you're going to do for this essay is you are going to choose one of the authors that you read in this unit. You're going to develop a written analysis of the work that we read from that author, looking at how the writing is reflecting a particular idea or theme related to this new American identity. And you're going to bring in elements of their life, what the culture, what's happening in America at this time, the historical situation, and contextualize that writing. So basically you're thinking about how is the writing reflecting these changing political, social, economic, or philosophical ideas that's shaping this new American identity, what it means to be American in a post-Civil War country. So some things to think about. How does the author or work influence or impact the social, political, or economic change happening in America? How do they fit or not fit with this new quote-unquote American identity? How does the author help shape new American ideals? And how does the author approach the particular idea or subject matter? Do they achieve a particular social or goal or message or political message? So really you're looking at why is this author and the work important? Why do they matter? You're going to keep the focus on the text though. That's the most important part. You don't want this to become a biography. So think about the lectures. Think about how I talk about these works. And then I always focus primarily on the text, but then I'm bringing in elements related to the author's life. So, for example, if you're talking about Kate Chopin in Story of an Hour, you want to talk about the institution of marriage in the Story of an Hour. That could be your focus. But then I would secondarily point out that Chopin had a very unhappy marriage. She ended up committing suicide. There is a lot of information that's related to the story that is relevant in your critique or analysis of the story in relation to her own biography. If you're talking about Du Bois or Washington, absolutely, you need to bring in their history, their biographies. If you're talking about Zit Khalasa, her identity as a Native American writer is integral to what she was writing about. But what she was writing about was trying to affect some type of change in policy, in social norms, an understanding of what Native American culture was in this new post-war America. So you're going to include at least one research resource in your work. It can be anything that you like. I've included a number of links in the biographies and things. As long as it's credible, that's fine. It just needs to be something like PBS or History.com or Biography.com. Nothing like Wikipedia or something like that. Make sure you cite it and then have a bibliography that has that research source on there as well as the work that you're talking about. If you choose a poet, I want you to know that you are welcome to choose one poem to analyze, or you can choose multiple poems. That's fine too. I would not do more than 2 for a 2-page paper. That's quite a lot to try and cover. You want to make sure that your argument stays nice and narrow and focused. So your argument should have a clear thesis, which makes a claim about the work. So you could be talking about, the positionality of a Native American female in this new America for Zit Khalasa. That could be your focus. Or you could talk about relations between ex-slaves and white society. That could be a focus for, say, Booker T. Washington. There's a number of different things you could talk about. What you talk about is up to you. Just make sure you have a clear thesis with main ideas, and then good, solid evidence from the text and from your research source. That means pull in specific quotes from the text to illustrate or show what you're talking about. You always want to make sure that your audience can see what you're talking about in the text. This doesn't mean that I want you to lose your voice. Your voice is the most important one, but you're using these quotes to support or use as evidence for your claim. Your essay is going to be 2 to 3 pages in length, and it's due by Sunday, October 28th at midnight. 2-page minimum means down to the bottom of 2 pages. Everything, remember, is MLA style, so it's double spaced, Times New Roman, Arial, or Cambria 12-point font. You need to have a header in the top left corner, page numbers in the top right, and a title. Remember that everything is going to be checked through Safe Assign as well. And you, of course, can choose from these authors and the works we read for them in this course. You are going to be graded on making sure that you have good, close analysis of the works and of its concepts, as well as secondarily, how you pull in information about the author's identity or the historical situation, what was happening at the time. Good, solid evidence to support your claims from both the primary and the secondary sources. Proper number of research resources, meaning you need at least one. Good proper page length, MLA, citations, means in-text citations as well as a bibliography, and a fully developed essay structure, meaning an introduction, main ideas with evidence, and a conclusion, and a thesis statement in there, of course, too. And a good, clear organization of your ideas. Don't ramble. So a few things you can think about. You can think about any of these in how you kind of approach your thesis statement and your essay. You could think about characterization in the work. You could think about archetypes, protagonists, antagonists, secondary characters. How are they developed? You could think about literary devices, things about similes, metaphors, personification, irony, foreshadowing. You can think about how it's structured. Is there a dramatic arc? Is there a conflict, like man versus man or man versus nature? Is there a solution, a resolution? Or what's the point of view? What do we know about the narrator? You could also think about literary concepts like themes, symbols, motifs, allusions, style. And then lastly, think about the historical context. So think about the author, their biography. Think about the historical events surrounding the text. Think about what the social, ethical, and moral issues are of the time period, and so forth. So I've given you hopefully a lot to ponder, think about, consider. I left this really nice and open so you guys can talk about whichever works you found interesting and talk about whatever you want to talk about within those works. So again, think about gender dynamics, social dynamics, outsider status. There's a lot of really interesting things you could talk about. So if you have questions about this, let me know. But otherwise, I think you guys will do great. I'm sorry this is 3. I meant to say 2 full pages at the bottom at minimum. And if you have questions, let me know.